All right, welcome back. So in this video, by the end of the video, we are going to have this on the screen, right? You can see that it says Instagram, Twitter, and Medium. Now, the goal is to get to this point at some point in the course, right? Or a set of videos, right? So let's go ahead and start off by creating a data struct that we can use in our UITableView cells, okay? Now we can do this by going over to our code here and creating a struct that we will put in a separate file at the end of the video and saying struct, and we'll say social account, okay? And then we're just going to give this a variable of title, string, and then variable, and it's going to be URL, and we'll say string, and then we'll say var, and then we'll say image URL, okay? And then we'll say string. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to declare a file private var, and we're going to say social accounts, lowercase s, and then we'll say this is of type social account, and then this is just going to be an array in which we will declare an account, a social account, and we'll say string Instagram URL HTTPS. Make sure it says HTTPS www.instagram.com/maxcodes or maxcodes.io, either one. I have 2 accounts on there. And then the image URL is just going to be Instagram, okay? Now we haven't added the images into here yet. We'll do that in a future video. But for now, we're just going to declare our social accounts. We're going to want 3. So we'll have Instagram, we'll have Twitter, and then we'll have something like Medium. And then let's change the links to twitter.com right here, /maxcodes1, since maxcodes1 is taken, or maxcodes is taken. And then this one will just be medium.com /@max.codes. And then we need to change the image URL to medium, and then this one to Twitter, okay? So go ahead and get that data in the screen, and that's how you create your custom data for our table view cells. Let's go ahead and now use them, because if you compile the application, you're going to get the same thing where it just says this is cell at row 0, this is cell at row 1, and so on, right? So we need to modify that so it actually takes in the social account for each cell for row at, and then it actually displays on the screen. Now the way we can do this is by going in here, and let's just print out index path dot row, and you'll see what we get for each one of these index path dot rows. It basically just gives us, well, you've already seen it because it's in the title, right? It's just going to give us 0, 1, 2, and so on, right? So we can get the right social account by just saying let social account is equal to social accounts, and then lowercase s on that, and then we'll say at index path dot row. So it's going to give us the correct social account. So next thing we can do, and that's printed out down there if you want to see that. Next thing we have to do is basically just say, okay, let's put in the title instead of the row. Let's say social account dot title. Reload your application, and you're going to see now that it says this is cell at row, and then Instagram, Twitter, or Medium, right? Let's go ahead and delete that and have it just put social account dot title. And then you're going to see something like we saw in the beginning of this video, okay? Now it looks like we got an error, okay? And that was even with this, right? That was when we were at this point, okay? Now the reason we got this error is because we're trying to return 5 rows, right? And we only have 3 items. So when it says social accounts at like 4, it's going to crash because there's no item at 4 here. So what we need to do is just return 3, and you'll see that it works. Now the problem with this approach is that even though it works, we might have more social accounts in here, like when we add in a new one later in the course, when we give the user an ability to add a social account, right? It's going to break, right? So say the user adds one in the application and it just loads up in there automatically, right? It's not going to show up since we only have 3 rows. So what we need to do is modify it to take in a dynamic number, right? Because our social accounts is a dynamic array. So let's return, instead of 3, let's return social accounts dot count. And that's going to give us 4 now since we have 4. And then if I delete this other medium one, it's going to give us 3 because we have 3 now, right? So it's dynamic. It will change based on whatever goes in social accounts. So later down the road, when we modify social accounts by the user adding in new accounts, it will automatically update to the right number, okay? So that's how you fix that problem. And you can see now that we can see this effect where it's saying our titles, okay? Let's go ahead and just delete some of this so it just prints out the title in that text label, and then we will be ready to hop into the next video. All right, so let's give it a second and it will load up. Come on, let's go. And we're ready to hop into the next video, all right? Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something. If you didn't really learn much in this video because you were trying to learn about dequeuing cells or something, just go ahead and start on the first video and you will understand how this all works as you go through each video, okay? See you guys later.